proposed FY 24-25 budget. So we need a motion to approve the agenda.
We'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. But comment regarding the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget. Anybody's have you not seen it on hearing budget? Yeah, I'm placed to hold the public hearing on fiscal year 24-25 budget. You
Then you just adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn. Second, in favor. Aye.
Okay.
Motion passes. Next meeting. Roll call.
President Trump,
Here.
Vice President Eager, Board Member Fox, Board Member Keeper.
Here.
Board Member Mack.
Here. And the reading of the district commission business due. Here.
Our mission to challenge all students to achieve their full potential through engaging, responsive educational experiences that inspire innovation, critical thinking, and collaboration. Our vision to develop learners who are competent, passionate problem solvers. Our operating principles: information for one is information for all. No surprises, verified facts, think and disagree, explain your thinking, and then commit.
Thank you. To approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the consent agenda to pull letter C from section D of the vendor agreement, just for clarification.
Any other changes? Approve as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Second. Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carried. Welcome to any visitors, any public comment for this portion of the board meeting.
We had at least one we should.
I'll go get that.
There is one on. Would like to speak. Is this person here?
Right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can't read your name. So,
Yeah, I got a question. You want 13.5% increase.
just can you state your name?
Dean Grover,
Dean Grover. Okay.
you sent me a tax notice that you want a 13.5% levy on taxes increase. And I'd like to know what the other schools are asking for the same deal. Because to me, you're taxing me crazy on farm taxes for people that rent don't pay any tax. And as far as I'm concerned, my taxes are my retirement program. You don't tax hikers and all this. I'd like to know why you keep raising taxes for schools and stuff.
The school did propose to raise property taxes, that percentage. I don't remember the exact percentage.
Well, I got the paper here, it says 13.5%.
Okay. And that was to cover a shortfall that we had in a budget in regards to special education was the primary driver of that.
So why do you need 13.5%?
That
Because you got a ball field out here that didn't do anything with it.
I guess I'm not following your.
Didn't you purchase land to make a ball field?
It's worth it to tell.
We decided not to sell, just
Oh.
under 20 acres.
Yeah, we do. That's something we had purchased a long time ago that's been in that the school uses for their FFA program, so I was confused by purchasing that, that's many years ago. And the person or business that we had purchased it from asked to buy it back at their selling prices, I recall, and declined that. But that's a separate issue that would have anything to do with covering the shortfall for special education.
So what you're basically telling me, how come we're needing this tax just for, because you don't have enough students?
No, the cost of running the special education program was more than we anticipated.
So people that rent, how much are they gonna pay?
That would come out of their rent,
So in other words.
the landlord. Property is taxed. Whoever owns the property pays the tax.
So why don't we go with the sales tax instead of property tax?
Don't think we get to choose that. That's not our choice.
So do we get to vote on this?
I don't recall it.
In a tax levy situation, when we do it.
What's that?
When we increase the tax levy, it is put in place and voted upon by the board to increase that tax levy. There is no vote. If it was a bond issue, we would have the option to vote. As Dr. Trope said, it's a multiple of issues, the primary being the shortcomings or a deficit in our special ed program. That is near $1 million. As a school in general, we're looking at more than that in a deficit of cost. We have to somehow recuperate that to keep our schools solvent. If we don't recuperate that, we can't keep the doors open per se. So that's why they're doing it. In terms of what do the tenants pay? Unfortunately, the way that's looked at in the grand scheme of things is the
So
landlord raises the rent to
so when
offset.
you're telling me if more people don't do open enrollment, it would be better for the school?
Correct. And
So
we
why
are,
are more people doing open enrollment?
I don't have a crystal ball, Dean. I wish I knew. We've been all working very hard to try and limit that and reduce that number. We have some of the greatest teachers, some of the greatest sports programs, some of the greatest coaches in this area. We're working very hard to keep everything at the level that we can. But families make choices for all kinds of reasons, whether it's an athletic program, an academic program. I will stand here all day long and fight for the school district and the people that work in it. But I can't force anybody to stay here.
But there is a reason they're leaving.
There's multitudes of reasons. We've done, Ann has done a really well designed job of interviewing kids as they leave in families to try and get a grip on them. We don't have a crystal ball that will tell us who the next one's gonna be or how to fight. I can tell you, we've seen coaches and teachers and administrators fight their butts off to keep every student they can in this district so that we don't continue to lose that fight. I wish I had an answer. Because
So
I
this
told,
is the done deal regardless.
These are two different issues. The property tax is based on property in the school district. The student issue is money that the state of Iowa pays to the district. So they're two different taxes. We have, as a school district, responsibility by federal law, I think it's good law to provide for special education.
So how many other schools around here have shortfalls in the same problem?
We spend our time with our school district, not other school districts.
I would highly encourage you to have conversations with folks from other districts because they got the same letters. Nash was having the same thing. They're increasing by 5 or 6%.
But I got the notice from Charles City that they're raising.
Are you in Charles City School District?
Yes,
If you were in Chickasaw, you'd have got the same notice from them.
yes, I did get that too. It's right on here. And it's not near as much as Charles City.
They had a better year. It's a difference in getting things coded right and making up for past things that we're trying to heal the process.
The larger district.
We could have went for 90 cents and our team has worked very, very hard to try and keep it at that 40 cents.
Any other? Thank you. Any others? There being none others, we will move to the next item. Fiscal year 2023 audit presentation. Nope.
Alex, you're on.
You're
Okay. Yeah, my name is Alex Barr. I'm a partner at Anderson Larkin and at Tumwa. I'm the audit partner on the Charles City audit. So I'm here tonight to present an overview of the fiscal year 23 audit. Can you guys hear me okay?
They're gonna turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
Just lost the
Video.
video.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Yeah, I can still see you guys.
It doesn't appear to be increasing. Let me try one more.
Want to try that?
Sure. Is that better?
Oh,
All right, try once more.
Yeah, is that better?
You can go over inside there. Yeah.
I'm afraid that's as loud as I'm gonna be able to get it for you. I apologize for that. It's not going up any
I
higher.
think we're okay.
Okay. I'll try to talk loud.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks.
So, like I said, my name is Alex Barr. I'm a partner at Anderson Larkin and Atumwa. We're the CPA firm that did the annual audit for fiscal year 23. So Callie, does everyone have a copy of the report in front of them?
Yep, they did.
Okay. So if you want to turn to page 2 of the audit. At the top of page 2, it says independent auditors report. And so on page 2, this is our audit opinion on the financial statements. We're paid to provide an opinion. And so the second paragraph on page 2 is our opinion on the financial statements. So I'll read that for you. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of Charles City Community School District as of June 30th, 2023, and the respective changes in financial position and, where applicable, its cash flows thereof for the year then ended in accordance with U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. So that's what's called an unmodified opinion or a unqualified opinion, the best opinion we can issue on a school district. Now we can go to page 9. So there's a table on page 9 in the middle. It says condensed statement of net position. I'm gonna focus on the total district column for 2023. So this is the assets, liabilities, and net position of the school district for 23 and 22. So I'll walk you through the major totals here. Total assets as of June of 23 were $44,577,000. That's a $266,000 increase from the previous year. Total liabilities as of June of 23 were $17,117,000. That's a $3.7 million increase from the previous year. And so at the bottom, overall total net position for the district as of June of 23 was $20,437,844. Now we can go to page 10, the next page. So on page 10, in the middle of the table says changes in net position. So this is the revenue and expense of the district for fiscal year 23 and 22. Again, I'm going to focus on the total district column for 23. Total revenues for fiscal year 23 were $28,303,000. That's a $180,000 decrease, which so revenues remain fairly stable for fiscal year 23. Then farther down, total expenses for fiscal year 23 were $24,365,000. That's a $36,000 increase from 22. So expenses also remain relatively stable. So the overall net position of the district as of June of 23, as I said before, was $20,437,844. Now we can go to page 13. At the top of page 13, it says long-term debt. So I just wanted to point out the long-term debt balances to you. There's capital loan notes outstanding of $1,048,492, revenue bonds outstanding of $5.8 million, and lease agreement liability outstanding of $561,000. So total debt, long-term debt was $7.4 million. That's a $1.4 million decrease from fiscal year 22. Now we can turn all the way to page 27. So on page 27 at the top, it's the notes to the financial statements. Pages 27 through 45 are the notes to the financial statements. We don't typically review the notes in detail at the meeting just for time purposes, but I'd encourage you all to read the notes to the financial statements because they provide additional information and explanations about the financial statements. So that's pages 27 through 45. Now we can go to page 46. So if you're on page 46 and 47, at the top it says budget and actual, all governmental funds. It's a comparison between budgeted and actual revenues and expenses for fiscal year 23. So in this case, for fiscal year 23, if there's any expense line items in the 4 functional categories that exceed the budget, we're required to report those to you. So on pages 46 and 47, we have, actually it's on page 47, within the expense categories, 3 of the 4 functional areas exceeded the budgeted expense amounts. And so support services, non-instructional programs, and other expenditures all exceeded the functional expense category budgeted amount. So that's a required finding that we're supposed to report to you. So that's why I'm telling you about that. Now we can go to page 71. So pages 71 through 74 is called the schedule of findings and question costs. And so any audit findings we would have, any report comments, anything that we're required to report to you is included on pages 71 through 74. So we have 3 comments for the fiscal year 23 audit with recommendations that I'm going to highlight for you. And so on page 71, halfway down the page, there's a comment called 2A23, bank reconciliations. So when we did the audit, we noted that the prior business manager was using spreadsheets to reconcile the bank accounts instead of using the audit software. And now that's not totally wrong, but we recommend that the business manager use accounting software. It eliminates the errors and inaccuracies when you're doing the bank reconciliation. So using a spreadsheet versus the software is not recommended. So we have a comment about Callie going forward using the bank or the accounting software to do the bank reconciliations. And I think that's what you're doing, isn't it, Callie?
Yep. I started. Yep.
So that's one comment we had. Then we can go to page 72. On page 72, near the top, there's a comment 2B23, gate concession cash receipts. So we noted during the audit and discussions with Callie that the gate and concession cash receipts, there was no real formal procedures that would track the funds from being collected to when they're deposited. No formal forms that anyone had to fill out or documentation. And so we have a comment about improving that area within the district. And Callie's developed some forms, I believe, to use at events for concessions and gate cash collections that would improve the internal control in that area. I believe you're already using those. Is that correct, Callie?
Yes. Yep. Yep. We started them right after I started. Yep.
So that's an improvement she's made. Then finally at the bottom, there's a comment 2-C-23. It was noted during the audit that hourly and or part-time employees didn't have written employment agreements. And generally that's a best practice to have something in writing for every employee you have. And so we have a comment that all hourly and part-time employees should also have an employment agreement in writing. So those are our 3 findings along with the budget comment. And if you turn to page 73, there's a comment 4-A-23 certified budget. That's where the budget comment I already mentioned, that's included there as well. So any questions or comments about the audit?
I guess
I'd be happy to answer questions later too, if you guys need time to look things over. So
based on the things that we'll call findings, on page, 71 through 74. Do you come back and check that for next year?
Yeah, we'll check those things. Yeah, we check those things next year.
Okay.
Yeah. And Callie also sent me examples of what she's implemented during fiscal year 24 already.
This year though.
You're gonna get it again.
It was before, I'll get dinged again. Moving forward, like tonight, when you approve the custodians and stuff, you'll see what they look like moving forward. But I'll get dinged again because there wasn't, they should have been done prior to me coming, but I'll get dinged again.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Stuff homeschool assistance program.
You just stand up here.
Sure.
We have slides, but
You can certainly use the airplane if you want. All you have to do is use your
Oh.
laptop with
I
that.
didn't know I was supposed to bring my laptop.
You don't have to. That's A-okay, although I will say.
You guys have our.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we just say beep when it's time for you to go to the next one. Should we
Nice
use
big
that?
voice, yeah, and if you use that up here.
All right, well, if you go to our second slide, there's a picture of Catherine and me. So my name is Susan Leeper, and I am one of the coordinating teachers for the homeschool assistance program for the district.
And I'm Catherine White. This is my first year as the homeschool assistance program coordinator. I usually take care of the littler people. K6 is kind of my go-to, and Susan takes care of the older kids.
And I've been doing this for 6 years. Every few years, we come and present to the school board just because we're this weird little department of the district that people don't know that all that much about. So we thought we would tell you what an HSAP is, so you can go to the fourth slide, and there's a picture of me reading a book to some little kids. So basically, a homeschool assistance program is a way for a local school district to provide assistance to families who are homeschooling in their area. The district provides certified teachers, both Catherine and I are certified. Mine is secondary math, K-12 music, and a bunch of middle school stuff. And Catherine's certification is?
I have K6 elementary, but a minor in library studies, K-8.
So anyway, we are certified teachers who work with homeschooling families who decide to be part of the program. This is one of the legal ways to homeschool in the state of Iowa, and the Charles City HSAP started way back in 2006. Oh, she's getting it. Thank you.
Those kids that we sent are stinking cute. So you want to see the pictures, everybody will see
There we
pictures.
go. So we're on, yep, keep going. So that's what I just went over there. So there's me reading some stories to some kids, and that really little one, she's actually a younger sibling of one of our students.
Yeah,
She's not actually enrolled. Okay,
but she's always welcome.
you can go to the next one.
Okay. I'm not sure if all of you know, or even the people that are here know, that our district actually receives 30% of the state per pupil funding for each student that is enrolled in the homeschool assistance program. So that money goes into our big HSAP pot, and that helps to pay our salaries and all of the curriculum that we purchase for the families to use. We have a resource room. It's kind of a lending library where they get to use that curriculum for the year, and then when they're finished, they bring it back and another family can use that. And it's all free for them. They're not charged any money. And that money also goes towards purchasing activities that our kids can be a part of, like those are Kiva planks that are fun and building and great STEM opportunities for our kids. And also that it can be used for our weekly homeschool assistance program. We call it homeschool group on Tuesday mornings, where the kids come weekly and we have activities, or we go on field trips, or sometimes go to plays and musicals down at Gallagher Blue Board. We are very blessed that we have the opportunity to have the freedom to go and be able to, as far as the moms are willing to drive, that's how far we can go for our different things that we participate in. So the great thing for the district is when we have homeschool assistance kiddos who are choosing to dual enroll or open enroll to our district, it is extra funding for our district. We like to say that we are kind of the bridge between the homeschooling families and the district. And a lot of times when you foster that positive relationship, then there might be more interest in having those kids seek out extra classes, or like my kiddos are involved in a lot of musical activities and drama. And so it's a way for them to be able to participate in the district as well. This is a picture of one of our outings. We actually took a group of us to Pinter's Pumpkin Patch in Decorah. And right now, as of today, we have 47 kiddos enrolled in our
homeschool assistance program, K-12, with 47 of those students being part of 22 families. And actually, I did not know this number until Susan put this all together. 11 of those 47 students actually their families choose to open enroll to Charles City specifically for the purpose of being a part of the homeschool assistance program. We are one of, I think our closest one is Decorah.
Yeah, there's one in Decorah and there's one in Waterloo. Those are the closest.
Those are the closest homeschool assistance programs. So these families choose to want to be a part of the homeschool assistance program, and so they choose to open enroll their kids here, and so that they can be a part of our program. And 16 out of our 47 choose to do enroll in classes, sometimes specials, sometimes like our son is taking Spanish 2 right now. Our daughter took what's equivalent of trigonometry and then college calculus last year. So I say we're blessed with the best. We get the best of both worlds, where we get to choose to be a part of things at the district, but also get to homeschool as well.
And then sometimes people just wonder what it is that we do. So we have the 2 certified teachers who serve these homeschooling families. We have what we call family meetings. We're required by state law to meet with each family at least 4 times a quarter. Most of our families, it's more than that. We have to see the kids themselves face to face at least twice per quarter. But a lot of them come to our weekly activities, and so we do see them quite a bit. We have educational and social activities that we arrange for. We have this lending library that Catherine talked about, where we have resources that families can check out to help them do the best possible job with their kids. We also administer the ISASP to families who choose to participate in that. Homeschool families are not required to do the state testing, but many of them do because they want to check and see how their kids are progressing. Next. Oh, you know what? I think we were supposed to do this slide. Oh, but I'm supposed to do this slide, so I should do this one too. Sorry, that was my bad. So some of the great things about the HSAP are that homeschooling families can network with each other. One of the drawing points, I think, for some of the parents is just that they get a little bit of a built-in community. And we have 2 students who are joining our HSAP next year, specifically because the mom said, we didn't know we could get that, and we really want that. So we're excited about that. We have an experienced homeschooling parent on our staff now with Catherine. So that second bullet, that was the one I wanted to say, because she can't toot her own horn, but I can toot her horn for her. She has a depth of experience with homeschooling her 2 kids that brings a lot to the families that I don't have as a homeschooling parent myself. We are a liaison between the district and these homeschooling families, because sometimes they feel like they're kind of out there in an island of their own thing. And we are always them, hey, did you know the district has this available, and we can help connect you with those services. And the longer the families are involved with us, oftentimes the more and more connected they get with the school district, which is something that we're really proud of cultivating with our students. And also we got this longevity since the homeschool assistance program has been here since 2006. So that's, you know, approaching 20 years. So we're happy about that, and that's a good thing about our school, about our program.
Okay, this okay. We have to tune our kiddos, our students own horn here a little bit. We had 3 girls actually from the same family. They are, and maybe you saw in the paper last fall. Their grandparents actually have a farm, and so their mom was inspired to have them enter this Iowa agriculture writing contest. And 2 of the 3 sisters won the entire state. Like, they were chosen for the state. There are only 2 winners, and they both won from the same family. And so, it was just like, okay, do you understand how big of a deal this is? Like, they went up against hundreds of other kids and they won. So we were so proud. They came, the Iowa Agriculture, literacy foundation came and threw a little party for them. The girls their books were published. You see right there, and I forgot, I was gonna show you their copies, I forgot them at school. But, and they were able to sign, they had them sign their name, like an author would do, and these people came from the state in Des Moines and came up and partied with us, we celebrated them. And the other sister, she, third grade, is that right? So 3 girls from the same family, we were so excited and very proud of them that they won that, so, yeah.
And then the next slide just shows Catherine doing one of the activities. We are located at Washington Elementary School. The HSAP has had a bit of a traveling history. We have just been relocated to Washington this year. We were upstairs in Lincoln for a couple of years. We've been in various places in North Grand when that was still a district building. So it's kind of moved around a lot, but we are currently located at Washington Elementary School. Got another picture of some of our kids. You can go to the next one, that's fine. Some of our kids, they're a little bit big to be playing at Washington, but the Washington family is really welcoming of us, and we go outside and play on the playground even with the big kids. So the big kids and little kids kind of have some interactions together. And more. We regularly get together to celebrate all kinds of things. This is a Thanksgiving gathering that we had at St. John, but our families regularly tell us that they're happy that they have this opportunity, that they can be exercising their educational choice to homeschool their families, but they also get to feel part of the Charles City School District and the community. So thank you for letting us come and present. Do you have any questions for us?
How do families from other districts find out about you guys?
Word of mouth. That is actually something that we have been talking to Dr. Schilling about this year. I'm not exactly sure, Susan can fill in, but in the past, there has been a request to have our own website as a homeschool assistance program. There are other districts across the state that have that, and so that it's a way for people to look up and just Google HSIP, and we haven't been able to do that. So that's hard. When we have new families who are looking for information, it feels wrong, but the only way we can share that with them is to share on other districts' HSAP page and say, oh, this is what we are. It's kind of like this. So that's actually one way that we would really like to do, is to be able to have that information not only for our HSAP families to share, but for us to share for respective families. To be able to have them just be able to see it in writing. They can talk with us on the phone, but sometimes you have to see it and read what the requirements are and understand it and know what's expected.
And a lot of our families know other homeschooling families, and they just tell them about it.
Yeah.
And then they call us and we tell them the story.
Far away are they coming
from? We have families from Osage and Clarksville and
North Washington.
yeah, they're in the Newington. And we've had Nashville Plainfield students. I think that's about it. Oh, and Mason City.
I guess if you Google search HSAP, is there anything that's connecting us to Charles City? Like, is there any, there's not even like a generic like HSAP, like.
No, I actually contacted the state guru and she told me that there were, she was right on the number. I think she said there are 53 HSAPs in the state, but there isn't like a list anywhere of those. But I think she said that there are 53 in the state. It's not required that a school district has one, but Charles City has had one for nearly 20 years.
Yeah, like you said, the biggest thing that we'd want to probably see more is just invitation, because I don't know how many families even in district are homeschooled that aren't even
Right. And there are
maybe new to homeschooling, especially I feel like since 2020, it might have been a jump.
Yeah. And there are, I mean, I know of a handful of families that are homeschooling. Some of them don't know about the HSAP and are like, oh, so that's an option. Some do, and then they choose to just do their own. So,
right. So does it cost families anything to utilize you?
No.
Yeah, so it's just like you can use as much or as little, it sounds like.
Absolutely, yep. It is all voluntary. And the only thing that is required is to meet with us those 4 times a quarter. And it's just our job to make sure that we feel like they're doing what they need to be doing, that we meet them what they feel is best for their families.
Yeah, because my family's trying in with you guys, is there any accountability to them, or is it just? Like, do they then have to kind of count to certain things that they're doing, or?
The accountability is really with us, and that we try and make sure that they're proceeding well, and most of our families do. Some it's difficult, some it's a challenge, but that's the way it is in every classroom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Eight. Consent agenda. Minus. Letter C. Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Consent agenda, or the amended consent agenda as presented.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 8C. April 2024. That was the
No.
one, that was the
No.
one, yeah, right,
No, yeah, so now you're back. Committee. Jump it a number down. Yep.
missed that,
Nope, that was for you.
C,
Yeah, so C, D, and E were all.
what was pulled out?
I pulled out the operational subsection C.
That's which one signs our agreement for operation. Yep.
Oh, that C,
That will also.
Is that where we're at?
yeah.
Yep, committees, yep, sorry.
We'll do that, we'll see that he had pulled out.
Can we
Oh,
just get
yes.
clarification on what was changed?
Yeah, so when I was going over the contract, the reimbursement was wrong. So what I did was I billed what the contract said, and the contract wasn't here, right? It was supposed to be overweighted students, and this contract said you were going to pay, we were gonna get 25% of Jerry's salary. So that's what I billed for, but then I was told that wasn't correct. Then also the agreement said superintendent instead of operational sharing. So I had to fix that. And then the bottom part is, pay half of the salary December of his 25%, and that was not correct. So we fixed it to what it should be now, and.
Okay.
Yep, we did.
I just hate to let something like that, but I don't understand.
Right, yes, I didn't understand it either, because I did what the company said.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Yes.
I'll move to approve that.
The second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, now number 9, committee reports. Do we have any committee?
Yeah, facility. Big one.
Bruce, do you wanna? Talk a little bit about that, you too?
Go ahead, I can elaborate as we go. There's a handful of things we went through.
Yeah, the go back that agenda items,
You go to work session, you can pull up,
yeah.
or committee meeting, excuse me. I have the agenda.
Talked about the updating in the kitchen,
Yeah.
ICAD costs are accused.
Yeah, the kitchen, they're working on the equipment that would be replaced. The IFQ for the things that he sent out, they're gonna be sent out again now asking for specific money. That would be needed for air conditioning in certain areas. The ones that we were looking at is the kitchen, the cafeteria, the 400 certain. There were some bathrooms that we were going to be redoing. There's two sets of bathrooms, some electrical work,
That's a big thing. So the RFQs, we had 3 companies respond to the RFQs.
I haven't seen if they come back with the numbers.
Not with the numbers yet. We got the response that they were all qualified and one was Modus. There was 2 others. Jeremy Coughlin. What's that?
What is the engineering firm?
Right, and these are all engineering firms.
They didn't want to-
They won't actually, they're gonna be doing the assessment of those systems. And we're asking now to go a little further and see what it would cost. Essentially doing a refined version of an ICAP. More
Just
defined
a-
for system. HVAC systems. Electrical. They were gonna do the evaluation, so now we're at the point of having them give us a estimate of what it would cost to buy the assessment. Yeah, before we obviously would hire somebody to come in and assess those things. And part of their system as engineers is they would assess the systems, give us an idea of high side and low side of what the repairs or replacements would cost. And just give us a ground. Does that sound right to you, Jerry?
If we go forward with these, what's the plan to tackle, right?
Essentially,
Well, do all this work to get this information and doing it. It's the benefit.
so the benefit of having a refined system like this is, in example, the septic system. They can go in and sewer system, septic, sort of different.
Yeah.
Underground system, okay? They can go in and give us an evaluation with a camera to tell us, is the whole system shot? Is it partially, can it be lined? What options do we have moving forward so we can do a priority based assessment and how we want to tackle different projects? If it's something that this needs to be replaced, this needs to be replaced, and all these things mount together, are we back at a bond issue? To give us a broad, a better understanding of where we're actually at. The issue I personally have with an ICAT type assessment is it's based off of analytics instead of hands-on assessments. They take the years of the septic system or sewer system based on what they think the timeline of failure should be versus what the actual is. And Jerry's done a lot of repair throughout the years. They're currently gonna be doing a cement job and digging and doing some excavating, they're gonna replace the section again. So if we don't have to go into major repairs or replacement, can we save ourselves some money? Same thing with the electrical. We've got different sides of the schools that one side's up to date, the other side's not. And will that ICAT take the same thing into consideration, I guess? This just lets us refine exactly what we want to look at on a priority basis and then decide from there as a board if the juice is worth the squeeze or if we need to go whole hog again, tackle with a bond issue or something like that. Makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. It just seems like we've been doing this. That was multiple times and then y'all have been the same. We have all these systems that we place.
But I think the difference with this one is that the previous ICATs were complete district things and they were called. This is concentrating pretty much on the high school right now. There were a couple other things now that I've got on the agenda. There's some ceiling things here in the high school. They, we're looking at being redone, the bathrooms, the electrical, wrestling room things, and events. Area costs, things like that. So there's some issues that we were looking at. And I think we've been very purposeful now about what it is we're asking for, what we know, what areas we know we want to deal with, and we plan on proceeding. So there's quite a bit covered there, and I think very, very purposeful, and I think that when we get the information back regarding the actual costs, what we need to do, then those specifics will be brought up to proceed. That was specific.
Going back to the North Grand stuff, so is a decision, or does that come to the board too?
That, from my understanding, it'll be a proposal, it'll be finalized, for the floor. Is that correct?
Yeah, next board meeting, they're due back, revised RFQs are due back, I think it's in the middle of next week, and then I'll have it next board meeting.
For the North Grand space?
How about on our theater project potential for North Grand?
That all has to, if we do anything with that, that's coming.
No. There is a perspective layout, they've done a lot of work
Work
to
on that.
work.
Yeah, I don't think that that's
Between-
the engineering firm.
No,
It's
no.
still being, it's part
The
of.
they
what we're
is
looking at.
Jerry, along with Jenny Spurglin, Tim, and some former students and people that have worked in the music and performing arts area. They've got a floor plan drawn up that is my understanding as they get closer, they will come to us with a proposal. So they're just kind of finalizing the details on it as to what we can work. They've been listening. They've been working with current staff, prior staff to make it so that it's a conducive space that will benefit our students.
Are they satisfied with happening in there? Like this is long term, or are they still thinking they wanna stay in?
I think a big part of this is to get us something for the here and now. I think everybody's goal in the long run is to get us a new performing space. I can only speak for myself and that's where I'm at, but this project is an idea to help us alleviate the stress of what we're putting on our middle school gym, because we're having damages to the floor. We're moving students out for gym classes when they have to do different practices and performances. Those kids are moved out of and missing part of their good curriculum. And we have an awesome gym teacher that's got a really good state certified curriculum, but he's not able to do it. And at the same time, our performance arts students are trying to use a space that's not designed for them. And it's not the best for them either. So this would be a space that could complement them as well as give us our gyms back and benefit both parties. Is the
It's
theory.
not meant to be long-term, like 10 or 20 years, but it's meant to satisfy current needs.
To give our students what they
Yeah.
need is the biggest goal.
For cost.
I think everyone hopes that we can raise the money to have a new center in the future. The popcorn ceilings that he mentioned, Jerry had someone evaluate the ceilings here because of falling. Wanted to make sure there's no asbestos and things of that nature, see what we can do. We came back with a great report, there is no asbestos, so they can move forward with removing that and painting and refreshing the area. If they, as soon as we choose to do so. Jerry had multiple quotes on the different bathrooms throughout the commons areas and big circle areas, crossroads. All 4 bathrooms were in the neighborhood of 80,000
yeah.
total, but 20 per section.
Code ADA and.
So, yeah, we discussed potential of a wrestling room. In the balcony area of the high school gym and what would have to happen with bleachers and things of that nature, as well as Jerry's wonderful staff would be able to do a handful of that whole, the old gym. To give them a space that was similar to what they previously had. They talked highly about, they had anticipated a 30th active shooter training where they were gonna actually have some people here. And you wanna talk about somebody that was amped up about practicing safety? Jerry was excited in our meeting, other than they had illness hit the group, so they had to find a way to reschedule. So it's been unfortunate, but they're working very hard to make sure our students are safe and trying to come in here. Talked about a bike purchase that was presented to us. I don't think at this time we're really interested in moving forward on that, just because of the cost of liability and insurance as well as equipment.
What was the solar stuff? We jumped over that one.
I think we're gonna get to that later, but there is. Lawyer has brought it to our attention that the solar panels are likely not in our best interest. As we've discussed in our meeting, if it's something that's, if the juice is worth the squeeze there, and someone putting equipment on our property is some of the things. But I
We
think,
pay more money for electricity, right?
what's that?
I said the contract stipulated that we would actually pay more money for electricity than what we were gonna pay for the utility company.
It could be. I didn't follow legal jargon. All I knew is that it was brought to me in a legal matter that it was not conducive. And so I think we're gonna discuss that later too, as to how we want to proceed, but it's not looking the most beneficial.
Oh, you guys is committee.
Really lengthy. We did really well though. We were out
Yeah,
within an hour.
yeah,
So, and then maybe
purposeful.
this one, the lease agreement with TLC, that one I just had a question about.
Sure.
So I thought we owned that. Why would we lease it? We own the Northwest building. We
Jerry's very familiar with the TLC lease. We have about 15 years left on that.
But we own everything in the East End, which is a 1970 edition. We own it, and TLC leases, well, it's a lease on their part that they have. In 2026, we can either decide at that time if we want to sell it, keep doing what we're doing there, keep it the exact same way. And if we want to sell it, then there's a procedure right in the contract that says we have to get a fair market value, and then they can buy it at fair market value minus what they put into it. So we have the option to keep that building as long as we want to, or we can have an option after 2026 to sell it. So it's the board's decision at that time where we want to go.
But what are we leasing, Jerry?
What are we leasing?
Because we own the building,
We
right?
own,
Right, and then we do a $0 lease for TLC's portion.
right,
So what are we renting from them?
we don't. They pay from us.
The purpose for this that you're seeing there is that he found some things in there when he discussed it with them. They technically leased the gym from us.
Right.
And
So in the contract, it's specific on what they lease from us. They lease all of the north side, and the gym is leased from us.
it turns
Okay.
out that they're responsible for more than we've been keeping.
So anything they lease from us, they are responsible for all maintenance, all upkeep, custodial work and all that.
Yeah, so my question is section B, page 6 of the lease. It's not really page 6, it's page 1. Where it says, the landlord agrees to lease to the tenant the following described building for $1. And then utilities, the tenant shall contract to pay for all utilities serving the lease premises on the first day of the term of the lease, shall invoice landlord an equal amount of $1,659.07.
That's for utilities.
Okay, so I guess how did we come about that number?
Square footage.
Okay,
So it's all done off the square footage. So it's total square footage of the east end, and then they did square footage of the average of the bills.
so all the utilities are in their name.
Correct.
Great.
So we just pay a set fee for utilities.
All
So
right, that makes a lot
number
more
is
sense.
all
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So we're not leasing space back, we're paying the utilities, which,
Nope.
you know, kind of,
Yep.
the way that it's written is very,
Right, so they do about, anyone wants to say, hey, can you turn down heat a little bit, you know, or whatever, just, because they're watching, they gotta pay the total.
yeah, no, we should pay our share for sure.
Yep. Right.
Okay, thank you. I assume the fire marshal's visit was good. We didn't get any red flags.
Not that I'm.
Very,
No pun intended.
very minor things, and if they are, Jerry's team has done a very nice job to make sure that we resolve all those issues.
There's no more there, negotiations, compensation.
That's just ongoing. I'll let Catherine.
Now you can talk.
Because she kind of ran that one.
You haven't been here, you can talk about it.
So it was along the last negotiations meeting we had with the two negotiating groups was long. They brought a bunch of suggestions and ideas. And then we had a group met up with kind of a strategy and start and talking through those, which was kind of let's list all the things that we know we're gonna do, which are kind of like these are.
This is about the negotiations with staff.
Yeah,
Yep.
better, these are things we all agree that we have to do that. Probably the shortfall of the budget for next year, and so then we'll really try to figure out what we're we talked about, what's the difference that we figure out how to do. They brought a bunch of ideas and suggestions, and so that's gonna be done Wednesday. So we'll let you work through. Right, is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
When you meet on Wednesday, is it purpose of that meeting to come to a decision? I think we have to finalize contracts and other sort of things by the end of the month.
I think the goal from that is to come back with ideas for the board to say, here's the recommendation we're making. You know, here's the number we all agree we gotta hit, here's how we think the best way to do that with the least impact. And then we make that decision if we all agree with that, or if we're like, no, we wanna spend more time negotiating, then we'll go back to the table, you know, or we'll say, hey, this sounds good, let's do it.
We want to be able to have a item on the 22nd where we vote for which one is
All the changes that we're gonna do.
Yeah. That's a conversation. Yeah. Administrator Director reports. Nay.
So that, I've just, I probably just start going over finances until the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So I give you a copy of this sheet right here. And so our expenses are awful high. So right now we're at 14.4 million. Last year, the last 3 months equal 10.1. So if we keep what we're doing, and kind of averaging what last year was, we're gonna hit 24 million in expenditures this year. We are only gonna bring in maybe 22 million in revenue. So we're gonna take a $2 million hit out of our savings account. So if you go turn the page, and I will keep you guys updated on this. I always have this, I'll always have this moving forward, so you can compare. I will be amending the budget, like Alex said, the budget hasn't been amended the last 2 years, because the last time we about it said it wasn't. So we will do another public hearing to amend the budget to hit the 24 million. That will be, we'll put it on the next one to set a date in May. So your ending balance this year shows 28 or 2.8 million for your carryover for general fund. If we do not do any changes and we keep spending like we're spending, if you go to the next page, which is 25, we are only going to have $141,000 in our account. That makes me super nervous that we're not going to have enough to pay payroll.
What's the monthly payroll?
1.4 million. Yep.
And does that include benefits?
Yep. And so you're doing August payroll always hits your FY, your yearly pay. So I have that budgeted in there right now. You have your special ed final billings, which you don't ever know what they are until July. Those will hit. You'll have your like your lead center, your special ed tuitions billings will be coming then too. I guess they're probably a couple $100,000 will hit. Your supplies and stuff that the invoices come say June 30th, they hit. Ian and I had a conversation with the principals this morning. Not if it's a supply and you don't need it, no more spending for supplies until next year. Because we just don't have funding right now. So moving forward, the next page, this page, the colorful one, your new money next year is negative $140,000. So you don't really have much to work with for raises and stuff moving forward for next year. And then the last page is the state of Iowa approved for FY25 beginning teachers at 47.5 and 12-year teachers at 60,000. So right now I've moved everybody up a step, and that's still going to cost the district $97,000 on moving them a step to get those certain teachers up to that point. So the next part is we're like at 1 million for TSS. The state sent us money thinking they would cover that part. It doesn't cover our section of it. And so the TSS dollars at the bottom is ours. So that comes from my negotiation spreadsheet. The one was with the green in it. So hopefully I have 111,000 carryover. with that new money, at least we have 1.2. So right now, we only have $207,000 to play with next year for negotiations for TSS. So we need to make some decisions on what we're going to do.
Kelly, one of the questions I have without saying anybody's name or anything,
Yep.
if we have a teacher who is eligible to be have a salary increase based on the new law that goes into effect July 1st, will they essentially step over an employee who's been there longer and they will make less money than that?
So you do have some teachers that will make it give it a $5,000 raise. So
And then the teacher that's been there like 3 or 4 years, but isn't eligible for the law change because it's very specific. Then the teacher who has been here for like a year or is a starting teacher, they're gonna get a bigger raise than somebody who's been here for like 3 years. And that 3 or 4 year teacher might make less money than them.
Everybody that's not making 47.5 has to hit the 47.5. So, yeah.
I think that's probably gotta be part of the consideration, because if you say to somebody, hey, this person started after you, but we're gonna get.
Yeah. And you don't have to have any extra like schooling or, you know what I mean? They're just gonna get it.
Like we went to the county.
And it's like if they transfer to a different district, they carry their numbers, their experiences with it.
Yep, they were, yep, and that's, with the summer, we went through everybody's experience because it wasn't, not knowing this was gonna happen, but their contracts are wrong, so moving forward, it does match what so.
That's not first year at a district, it's first year, just period.
Yes, for every, yep,
That's all.
yep, that's not our, yep. So that's, I will keep presenting with where we're at every month, we get a month, just about, right? Yep.
Kelly, do we know why that June amount was so high?
Yeah, so you have salaries and benefits that hit that, and you also have special ed. We have supplies that were hitting it because people didn't know how to stop buying supplies. I'm hoping we don't hit 7 million, but it's really
They might need to be. Proven every month.
hopefully health insurance, we can kind of see where we're at, moving forward. I don't think we'll settle with the teachers with the base, just because of this whole thing. Hopefully hourly people can get done with the. That's all I have on students. And this will be presented in Catherine Hunsier.
Any other administrative director reports? Superintendent.
Yes, the superintendent's board report for April 8th talks again about what's going well. We had 3 CCHS athletes selected to play in the NIAF All-Star Game. Congratulations to Jack Hansen, Jeb Wandro, and Keenan Wiley. Another fine meal was served and enjoyed as part of the Comet Cafe's annual banquet on March 22nd. Students not only prepared the food, they took responsibility for all aspects of the evening, including reservations, entertainment, serving, and cleanup. The high school drama department presented the play Trap by Stephen Gregg on March 29th and 30th. And as you would expect, it was amazing. It was very impressive. Our Comet Cafe was part of an exciting event last Friday as they participated in the community chili cook-off. Our student celebrity chefs included Lucas Vance, Trevor Carolyn, Chris Barrett, Clayton Wright, McKenna Baker-Neve, Connor Dietz, Lori Baking, Jasny David, Keenan Wiley, and Jordan Young. The coveted Golden Ladle Trophy went to Keenan Wiley and Jordan Young. The high school art show reception at Charles City Art Center was well attended as usual. The students' work was simply incredible, and if you have not been able to see it yet, please make plans to go. You will be very impressed. At the district level, the professional development plans for April 12th have been finalized and will include opportunities for staff to engage in learning and support for formative assessment, crisis response, literacy instruction, and social emotional learning, among other things. The district continues to consider options and engage in conversations with other school leaders relative to new activities, conferences in response to our denial to join the North Central Conference. An update from our AD, David Sullivan, will be forthcoming as details are available.
So just, and I know that's coming, I assume that that's not, we're not gonna do anything for the next 24, 25 year.
No, any changes we make now will take effect the following August, 18 months from now, at the earliest.
Go to the next one.
Enrollment report. We have a drop in enrollment of 8 students, which, as you know, we were up 11 last month, and so now we are back even to where we were in January. It's leveled out to match January. Of those that moved in, 88% of them that came into the district, 88% of them moved into the district, and 12% of them were put in placement here in the district. Those that left, we had about 45% physically move out, and 1 went to IC, 1 chose to homeschool, 1 went online, and 3 of those students dropped out.
New business. Set the date and time and place for the public hearing to be adopted.
I'm sorry, when we do that, we put the 22nd. It is right. 22nd. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just to let you.
I'll make a motion to approve to set the public hearing on the adopted fiscal year 24-25 budget for April 22nd, 2024 at 5:30.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Required health class at the high school.
Yes, Dr. Schilling is busy helping out with some of the other activities as part of the step up activities in the enrollment for next year. So I will provide this report on her behalf. As we've begun to vertically align the health standards at the secondary level, and an important mitigation for the health classes we had previously offered at the middle school. Moving forward, we're going to require a health course for 11th and 12th graders starting in the 24-25 academic year. It will become a required but elective course. Students who are seniors during the 24-25 school year will not have to meet this requirement. You can see the essential components that will be covered there. Because we are fully staffed in physical education, this allows us then to be fully compliant with our health standards, as I mentioned, in both middle school and high school. While the state does not require health per se, they do require us to meet these standards. So by providing this elective and asking and making sure moving forward, all 11th graders will be involved in that, will help us meet that requirement. We do an annual desk audit and we have come up short there in the past. So this is our correction for that. Right, so coming up, it'll be juniors and seniors because it'll be the first year it was offered. Then after that, it will always be the juniors. So this will get us back on track, and then after that.
We have to hire a separate teacher to teach that course, or is it taught by somebody already on staff?
Yeah, taught by someone we already have.
No, this meets some state requirement.
Mhm.
Is this something? Families are notified of.
They will be as part of the course catalog changes and the students that have their 4-year plans. But it isn't anything separate beyond that.
Understood. See the motion to
Yes.
see that.
I'll make a motion to approve the required health class implementing. said class.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Opposed? None. Grade 7 and 8 band trip.
Yes, and again, Renee was here to respond to this. I'm gonna cover for her. She too is taking a child to the step up activities. This year, they would like your permission to make their spring trip in May to Valley Fair in Shakopee, Minnesota. In the past, they had gone down to the Des Moines area. The experience was more expensive and it was less enjoyable for the students as the years went by. So they'd like to have the musical groups performing throughout the day that they can watch. The cost for each student comes out of the middle school band account. Students are going to have sack lunches. It is out of state, so we need your approval to go ahead with that. Both the principal and the superintendent have recommended this as a change, and again, it's cheaper than what we had been doing for an in-state activity.
When
May 16th and May 17th.
need a motion to approve the 7th and 8th grade band trip to Valley Fair.
I'd make a motion to approve the 7th and 8th grade band trip to Valley Fair.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. That's fine. Approved bus drivers and custodian fiscal year 25 day.
They got it. It was 50 cents because it's been multiple. That's all.
This table.
Yep, then just make a motion to the table that was presented, and that's what they're funding. The dollar amount.
We follow that.
Make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 letter of assignments for custodians and bus drivers pay.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Passes 7-0. Solar panel. Wire agreement. That solar panel, electrical system is presented.
So I want to make sure I understand, where are we just approving legal project?
We are probably trying to decide if we want to even proceed with this. Yeah,
Okay, because I wasn't sure, because it has like the agreement and the legal contract and costs, and it says the solar legal agreement. That's, I just want to understand. So there's no recommendation, so do we need a motion? Or we
well,
just,
first want to know what people want to do. Do we want to proceed with this? Do we not proceed with this?
I mean, if we're gonna spend more money, it doesn't seem like a good idea.
I agree.
So I would make a motion to not approve the solar contract. Just
Do we have any penalty? Because we kind of agreed to it,
We didn't,
we didn't sign
You only agreed to draw up an agreement and get more.
with Harry.
Yeah, because we agreed to, I think, like, draw the agreement and have the attorneys look at it. And after
That's
that,
what we agreed.
then we would make move forward if everything's okay. Got it. Sounds like, not okay, right? So we should do that.
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign? Motion passes to not proceed. So, no. Fiscal year 23 audit.
I'd make a motion to approve the audit as presented by the accounting or CPA firm. Both of them.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes that one. Any policy reviews?
We do not do spring break. We didn't have a March policy meeting, but we do meet this Friday. So those of you on policy committee would have been invited today and have all of the policies for review attached. So we'll see you on Friday and have those next meeting.
Any board comments?
Just a comment. I know at the beginning of the year, calendar year, we talked a little bit about food service and kind of making sure that we had, I've asked my foolish children every night since January 1st, how's been the food? And they've always said it's been very good, Dad. Really like it. I ask them what they're having and they're always having something that they like. We get choices. So I think whatever we've done there has really been a step in the right direction.
Glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, the service that's going to IC is subpar.
Oh, is it?
So they have expressed through families and some of the school board there have expressed that they may be looking for other options that could actually alleviate cost for us as the district. But
I think they contract with.
they were talking with the hospital and some of those.
Oh,
other
gotcha.
places. They're looking at other opportunities, but they were not pleased. The amounts and portions have been very subpar. 3 or 4 chicken nuggets for 10-year-olds is probably not fun.
My table will eat them chickens.
And that's what I'm.
You probably eat 20 probably.
No other comments, then we need a motion to proceed to a closed session.
Make a motion to proceed into closed session for Iowa code XX.
Second. 2.5 aye. Any discussion, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same, motion passes.
I think I got 5-minute recess and we did it.
Yes, yeah. Give that help.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I wanted what else did janitor at IC? You pay a janitor at
No,
IC?
that's for, that's what I see, that is.
Okay.
Yes, I had to ask that, I'm like.
Janitor. Yeah. Right out the door.
Well, I'm going to.
Yeah, I was joking, that's back there. I work with some little kids, and some of them gave it to me. Oh, well, that's very bad. The other night, I had the plague.
I'm gonna shut this down.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, they put them on the new. Lower at.
Yeah, we have to put that over here. Yeah. I need that. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
Yep, that's fine. So we want him on this thing, then what, I'll have you go ahead and do this. I don't know if that'll, let's see what we can do with that. You probably know how.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
I don't know if you need
Yep.
that.
I need this one right here when you're done.